Why, hello everybody, and welcome back to Age of Strife. You guys have made it to the Countess's Keep out in the plains to the east. I guess to the southeast,
Yeah.
around the bend of the river. The keep is surrounded by its broken down walls from the destruction long, long ago. You can see the little jailhouse structure that's been built is covered with a lot of snow and has been trenched out between a path between it and the keep itself has been shoveled. And there are a couple of guards standing on top of the wall, shivering and shaking in their big, heavy coats. They call to you as you approach, identifying you and calling down to get the doors open so you may enter. The three of you come on into the keep and are ushered into the main hall where people are sitting down for lunch. You are offered a seat and offered food if you would like, while everyone kind of sits around and chats. It's mostly the Countess, her family, and her soldiers, as well as a few servants sitting around. There's a big roaring fire going on in the hearth nearby, giving the castle a nice warm feeling to it, even on this cool day. Um, and the Countess looks over at you guys and asks, "Is there something you need? Should this be done in an official capacity, or are you just here for minor pleasantries?"
Um, I'm not sure if an official capacity is necessary, but Max here has finished the plans for the wall around
Hmm.
Wadsworth.
She brightens up and motions for Max to approach her. He walks and stutters a little bit while handing her the papers, saying, the calculations are on the last page. I figured I, that would be make the most sense." And you can see through here, and he starts explaining the first 7 pages of the document, and she just turns them over and goes to the last page, looking only for the synopsis. He looks a little crestfallen when she skips over all of his hard work and calculations. She gives a slow nod and says, "These estimates are surprisingly accurate," she says, looking at him with a bit of worry in her eye. "Well, it appears all is in order." She looks to you, Luther. "Anything about these that I should be aware of?"
Um, the last 20% of the stone will be gathered from Nixon, most likely, which we'll be setting up. But we do have 80% of the stone already.
Hmm.
So once the snow's gone, we could start building immediately.
Hmm.
Um, I believe Max told me that the costs should all be covered by the 10% tax.
Hmm. Yes. Well, it looks like there are 3 figures here at the bottom. Like we can do it in 6 months, unless someone can come up with an extra. How much is that? Actually, 30. Unless someone can come up with an extra 11,000 gold, it'll take about 6 months to do.
Sounds good.
The Thorn family doesn't want to invest 11,000 gold to shorten the construction time by 3 months, do they?
Well, it's not really a question of whether the Thorn family would like to or not,
Hmm.
or whether the Thorn family can. And unfortunately, well,
Well then, I think it's settled. She hands the documents back to Max, completely ignoring everything except for the very last paragraph on the 7th page, and not even paying attention to him. He
yeah.
meekly backs away into the far corner, depressed. She gives you the blessing to order the construction of the wall and have Max oversee it.
Thank you, Countess, and thank you for the hospitality.
You guys stay for food or head out right away?
Um,
Staying for food will take an extra hour of eating and pleasantries and socializing.
Arthur votes for food.
Yeah, he's fine.
Excellent. Ooh, loud all of a sudden. So you guys stay for food, hang out for a little while, chat with the people there, and everything wraps up in about an hour. And the Countess and her people go back to work. Servants clear the dishes, and you guys are free to continue on. Max tells you at some point when you're leaving that with the that he can probably bring the price down if the two of you are willing to devote all of your time and energy to wall construction. You can probably reduce the cost of the walls by 5,000 gold.
5,000.
Well, it's going to cost about 17,000, less 1,000 or so for my volunteering my time. If the two of you are free to fully focus on this, we can probably bring it down by 4,600, 4,700. That's a pretty decent reduction in cost.
Well, 6 months. We might barely have enough money to sustain 6 months, though I suppose if we're...
Yes, I didn't think you would want to dirty your hands with this sort of labor.
Well, it's not that I would mind 4,700 gold, which...
Now, the reimbursements wouldn't come to us, of course. That would be saving the Countess the money. Assuming she uses the extra 10% first and then her personal funds second. Would just be lining her coffers.
Luther will give a wry smile and say, of course. I think that there's probably too much to be done. So if the money were coming to us, maybe it would be a different case.
Right. Well, he looks back at the cart. Did you brought the horn? Was that something you were gonna talk to? No,
not the Countess, not yet. We were going on a trip to visit. Well, I suppose I can tell you the centaurs, but I suppose we should give you a ride back to Wadsworth first.
No, that sounds like a wonderful bit of adventure. I've been cooped up for days. And days.
If you'd like to come along, I suppose you can. Though it's a bit dangerous, and you're the most important man in Wadsworth right now, so... Well, if you'd like to see the centaurs, that's fine.
I'll be quiet. I won't get in your way, I promise.
The centaurs are a little bit touchy. But it should go well. We've brought them gifts, so... Maybe they'll like that I'm showing an interest in learning Elven, but we'll see.
Didn't they get upset the last time we asked them about magic, though? And we're bringing them a magic horn?
Maybe, but we don't have to show them the horn. We may not. Maybe they won't know it's magic. We'll see. I think it'll be fine.
All right.
Plus, you're a bit like they are, so I think they'll like you.
Me?
You're a bit like they are?
Well, not in the horse way. More that the nature way. You know what I mean. Well,
I can't say that I do, sir.
Don't worry about it.
You're being very strange. You sure that potion didn't do anything to you?
Well, if it did, I suppose I wouldn't know. Or I don't know. Well, let's get there anyway. Shouldn't be too long.
All right.
You continue on the way. It's another 7 miles or so to the River Grove, which would normally only take you like an hour and a half, but now it's going to take you an extra 3 hours to get there. You arrive at that same hill, slight hill overlooking River Grove. There's the woods stretched out before you, all
Okay.
kind of blanketed with a nice layer of snow over the top.
We will unhitch Vinny from the wagon once we get there, and I will ride a fair distance away. Maybe how far did I have to get to be like fairly out of sight?
You just go on the other side of the hill, and you wouldn't be able to be seen.
Okay, so I'll tie him up to a tree over there, and then walk back to the wagon.
Sure.
You might wonder how we got the wagon there, but let's just not worry about that.
How do you call the centaurs?
I blow not the horn of blasting. I make sure to differentiate. I blow my regular horn as usual.
Okay. You give it a few toots and just wait.
Yep.
Just when you think that the centaurs aren't going to show up after sitting there for half an hour in the... Actually, it's quite cold out now. Now that the novelty of the snow has worn off. It's really uncomfortable just sitting out here in this cold weather, and it keeps coming down gently. But after a half hour or so, you can see a small cluster of centaurs appearing near the edge of the grove.
Luther will give a wave.
The group starts walking in your direction, going slowly and delicately through the snow in a single file.
Okay.
Takes them a little while to get to you, but eventually they have arrived.
Greetings, friends.
Greetings!
I've come today to... Well, first, we brought you some more ale, and I'll kind of...
Ah, fine gifts! They immediately go to the back of the wagon and start pulling off the ale barrels. One sets it up on the edge, uncorks it, leans over, and starts drinking directly from the tap. Another
Fair
then
enough.
puts his hands under and starts hand feeding himself ale. And the third comes over and they kind of stand around the barrel drinking for a while. And whenever someone's not drinking, or when one of them stops drinking, it turns to you and says, "What what cause is there for your meeting us here?"
Well, I was curious about something that I wanted to ask. Do any of your kind know Elven? Know how to speak the language?
Of course, we speak the tongue of the long-lived wee folk.
Do you think you could teach me?
Language is not so easily learned, small one.
I understand, but I believe it would be very useful to be able to speak to the elves and have peaceful discussions rather than what the rest of us humans have done, be needlessly hostile. I believe we can have peace, and I'd like to learn the language to...
This skill takes years to learn. And we
Arthur
are
twitched.
uncomfortable with humans living amongst us.
I'm a fast learner, but if it's truly impossible, then
Impossible, no. Time consuming, yes.
well, So it would take years of me like staying with the centaurs.
I mean, that's what they're saying.
Do you have any books that would help me learn, possibly, or? Anything like that?
They exchange looks for a little moment, and switch into a different tongue you don't recognize and speak back and forth for a while. And then the lead one comes to you and says, "Books are markings that
Yes.
represent speech.
Yes.
No, we do not possess such things. We
Um,
speak to one another. We have no need to create sound words."
I see. So you cannot read Elven? Here, I take out the journal and
Mhm.
I say, I found this in a lighthouse to the east. I believe it's in Elven, but I'm not sure.
One of
Yeah.
our kind does understand these strange markings.
Ah, very impressive. Would it be too much to ask for me to see him and ask about it?
Look at you with suspicion.
I look as innocent as possible.
Hmm. I don't know if they're comfortable with allowing you into their forest. Mm. The old one does not travel well. And while you have been friend to us for now, we cannot allow you within the border of our wood.
I see. Hmm.
What need have you with? He gestures to the book kind of disdainfully.
Um, well, it's just that I found it and I I don't know what it says right now, so I can't. I just like to understand.
Hmm.
The book isn't really that important. It's more I just like to learn more about Elven. I'd like to understand something about them, be able to
Hmm.
speak.
Hmm. Hmm. He grumbles.
I would go to the elves and ask, but the way things are between our peoples, I don't. They might shoot me on sight.
Long-lived ones are very protective.
Yes,
They they are their memories last ages. They are not easy to or quick to forgive.
indeed. This is why I'd like to be able to speak to them directly and explain myself and explain that I do not mean any harm.
How many summers have you seen?
I think about it a moment and then I say,
You check your character
yeah,
sheet.
34.
Ooh, that's right. You aged. I've got your
Yeah,
age off on the overlay. Um, you are wise for one so young.
I bow my head and say thank you. I, I tried
What
to
of
learn.
these other two? These silent ones, are they mute? Are they dumb?
No, they are both my family. I gesture to Arthur and I say, he is, well, he's not my family directly, but he's a good friend. And then I point to Max and I say, he is, what is he, my uncle?
Cousin?
Cousin?
Max is your cousin.
Yeah, I say, Max here. It's his first time seeing you. He's my cousin.
Mm. Are
Hello.
they forbidden to speak?
No, they can speak as they wish. I believe that, Well, I just
They've been drinking quite a bit now because this whole conversation takes place while the three centaurs have been taking turns at the tap. And they're getting maybe a little boorish now. And the lead centaur kind of struts over to Arthur and goes, "Well then, little one, speak."
Hello.
"Hello!
I'm Arthur.
Hello, Arthur."
What's your name?
"By the great cloven hoof, my name is Winifred."
Well, nice to meet you, Winifred. What do you do for your tribe, clan?
"What do I do? What sort of nonsense is that?"
Are you a hunter?
"Hunter.
Okay.
We are all hunters. Are you not a hunter?"
Oh, I am. Not all the humans are, though.
"Not all humans are hunters?
no, they.
By the great braided tail, what do you do with your time?"
Well, Arthur here, he has a way with nature. I'll say it's quite fascinating, actually.
"Has a way with nature."
Yes,
Strange words from strange diminutive creatures.
Well,
Do you know this word, diminutive?
yes,
You do.
yes.
You
It
are
means
smarter than you look.
Thank you. What I meant was, like if I approach a snake, the snake will be hostile, but if he approaches the snake will be kind.
Why have you angered the snake god? Does it seek to strike you wherever you go?
I hope not, but it
Then
certainly.
why are snakes hostile to you?
I suppose because humans in general have the same reason elves are hostile to us. Humans have killed snakes, they're afraid of snakes, so snakes assume humans are bad, but they don't assume that of Arthur.
You are destructive people, but you produce delicious beverages. I shall forgive your wanton destruction of trees and snakes and elves in exchange for more delicious, what do you call this, ale?
Yes,
Ale.
Ale. Delicious ale. Mm. Now, we will take our barrels. We will go.
One last thing. This did you call him the great one, the old one,
The wise old man.
the wise old man?
Wise old
this
one.
wise old one. Does he have books, possibly in Elven?
She does not.
She.
We do not collect these things you call books. They are nonsense.
Um. Very well. Well, I will be back one day, and I still wish to learn Elven, but maybe I'll have to do it another way.
Why do you seek these ridiculous markings? Why not just make the sounds you desire to make? Why put them down on flimsy? He kind of holds your book and tosses it back and forth before throwing it to you. Flimsy things.
Well, even if people die, their writings still live, and that's why things are written.
These are not living things. This is
Well,
not living thing. This is like rock.
You can transmit information. You can leave it for others to learn.
Why not speak to others? This seems
That's another way. But if
slow.
if someone with much knowledge dies, their knowledge can live on if they've written it down.
Why have they not told it to another person?
Oh, I'm sure they have, but
Then the knowledge is preserved.
yes.
Your ways are strange and foreign.
Well,
You are destructive as well.
Do centaurs not forget things ever?
Everything is forgotten eventually.
Well, what if you don't want something forgotten?
Nonsense!
for a
All
while.
things die. Even knowledge dies. It is the way of the world. It's futile to resist. Come now.
Arthur
It is time we
shrugs.
take our leave. Farewell, strange creatures.
Well,
The centaurs turn around, rolling the one barrel while one of them holds the other, and they, sip at it on the way down. They're only really able to hold it because they've drained a lot of it. Much of it spilled onto the ground while they just left the tap open and drank out of it.
After they leave, Arthur says to Luther, I don't really think we should be talking to these centaurs or the elves. Like, they're not doing us any good. We just gave them a bunch of ale and they won't even let us talk to their people. These are not good creatures.
Well, it's not about whether or not they do us any good. Well, I suppose it is. Well, I don't see what's wrong with talking to them.
Well, there's nothing wrong talking to them. There's everything wrong with giving them things for free and getting nothing in return. That's not how trade works. It's not how friends work.
Think of it as an investment. We might not have gotten anything now, but maybe later, eventually we'll gain something. Plus, I enjoy hearing what they have to say. It's a different perspective.
Seems silly to me. I guess there's something to learn from them.
Well, let us go back.
It takes you the rest of the day to get back to Wadsworth. You don't arrive until that night. So we will just have to skip to the next day.
Yeah, and I will make a... Actually, I guess today, will I heal 1 HP? Because I'm at 17 right now.
Yeah, you were riding in a cart. If you were riding on horseback, you wouldn't, but the cart is much easier.
And I'll make a poultice too, and apply that.
Right. Why don't you roll the d3?
Well,
1.
I'm almost done next.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do? It's the next day. It's the 11th of April. Have you solved all the problems of Wadsworth?
I don't know about that. Well, there's still money to be made. There's still moss men to meet. And frog traders to trade with.
Swamps to drain.
Crypts to rob. That's what I've been thinking about. I think it's time to go in search of maybe some more magic. And what better place than a crypt? So today, do I have to wait 24 hours before I can use another poultice, or?
Yeah, they're. You apply one and it kind of sits on for a few days, so it's not like they're really replaceable. It's like one per wound, but we don't track individual wounds, so.
Yeah.
Messy.
Okay. Well, I guess Arthur's never been to the crypts with us.
No, he hasn't.
He doesn't know what goes on. Oh boy. Well, Arthur, I think today we should go down to Rosebloom. That's where it is, right?
There is a crypt in Rosebloom that you have been to a few times.
Yeah, there are actually 5, and we've only been in 1. Quite exciting.
Well, what's in Rosebloom?
Well, there's a cemetery there that I visited before.
You have family there?
Possibly, but they'd be long gone ancestors. No, this is... We will be paying other people's families a visit.
Why?
Well, you'll see.
I'll see.
Yes. Yes, we'll have something to do when we get there. We'll want to arrive in the night.
You want to arrive at night in a cemetery?
Yes. Well, also, take this mask.
What?
And I give him. Do I give him my mask or Ty's mask? I'll give him my mask. And my mask is a wolf mask. Don't put it on now. You'll just need it later. I'll lower my voice. Look, Arthur. We're going there to break into the crypt.
Well, why?
Because the last crypt we broke into had a cursed necklace. It was very interesting, and there was ghosts and
Hold on. You want to break into a crypt because the last one had a cursed necklace and a ghost in it?
well, it was very valuable for one, and it was quite the interesting. Were you there when the ghost showed up in the house?
And attack
Maybe.
Ginger? Yes.
Yes.
That. Luther, why don't we just go back to Nixon instead? That at least
There's
all that
nothing-
stuff is abandoned.
Nixon's much more dangerous.
Yeah, but we also want to be stealing.
I believe it's the same thing.
Well, you believe wrong.
Those things in Nixon used to belong to someone, just like the things in the crypt used to belong to someone, and now neither belong to anyone now.
No. The difference is the crypt still belongs to those families. Those families still maintain them. Everything in Nixon, that's abandoned. If someone wanted to go recover their goods, they could, but...
It's not abandoned by choice. They're
All right.
forced out.
Well, it's still there.
Look, I think we should leave. When should we leave? We can leave now and then camp out on the plains until it gets dark, then ride in quietly, and hopefully we don't get spotted.
And rob the crypts.
Well, more like investigate.
Investigate at night with a mask on.
Well, nobody would let us investigate during the day. Well, maybe they would, but then they'd know we were there. You don't have to wear the mask, I suppose. Look, if you're not coming with me, I'm going alone.
What village are you from, Arthur?
I hope it's not Rosebloom.
Patrick, can you try cycling your cam? It's been frozen for a little while.
Yeah, I saw that Zoom is not responding right now. But I figured since my voice is going through, it's still...
Yeah.
I can leave the call and try and join it again.
Well, we'll just do it during the next break then. If it's really not responding at all.
Yeah, it's just not responding. It's been frozen for a while.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think I was from the same village as what was his name? The kid that died the first day he was on the job.
He was from
I forget that.
Darbloon, wasn't he?
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
from Darbloon?
I think I was, and that's how I heard about that the Thorns were looking for people.
Well, wasn't your brother working for the Thorns? Before he perished?
Yes.
What was that guy's name?
Reggie? No.
No.
Well, Reginald's still alive.
Oh, yeah. But
No, what was
I'm
Reginald?
thinking about the stupid guy that died immediately.
Yeah, his
He
name...
got killed by the ghost.
Yep.
I don't think I have it in my notes anywhere.
I don't have Reginald in my notes anywhere. Or what the other guy's name is. I deleted him from my notes.
Just like he was deleted from our lives.
Ronald, that's his name.
Ronald.
Ronald, yeah.
Yep.
Well, Rip Ronald.
Okay. So then you're from Darbloon. God, I don't remember where you guys are from.
Mhm.
Okay. Because it doesn't really matter. If you're from Darbloon, that's actually fairly good to know because that's the village that Lord Kel Rugsman Greendoll is from.
Yeah. Man, I really want to kill Green Doll, but it's so hard to do it where people wouldn't know it was me.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Welcome to the life of an assassin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was a regular assassin, it wouldn't matter if people know it was me because I could just leave.
Well,
I'm kind of tied down.
are you going to plan some sort of elaborate murder situation?
Maybe. Maybe if we have a party, it could be anyone. We'll see.
Or if you kill all the witnesses?
Just slaughter everyone, and but then they like someone would have seen me ride into town or something awful like that. It's difficult. But for now, yeah, Luther says, if you're not coming with me, I'm going to go alone. So, make up your mind because I'm leaving soon.
All right, fine. I'll come, but look, if I'll fight monsters and stuff, but if there's guards or something there, no, I'm not gonna
Guards
I'm
won't
not
be.
gonna do that.
It'll be okay. As long as I can get through the locks.
All right. I see you've been doing this a while then.
I have indeed. Well, a few times.
Fine. Let's go.
Okay. So, should we take our armor? I suppose. Nobody will hear it clanking around in the cemetery if there's nobody there. So we ride out of Wadsworth sometime during the day, and don't tell anyone where we're going.
Excellent. All right. We're going to break a little bit early then, so we can do all that in the next segment. So we'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.